stream it live on 1017 Truth, as well as our sister station, 620 WTMJ and 94.5 ESPN. This has been your news update. Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris is next on the new 1017 The Truth.
Bringing you his authentic perspectives on important topics.
They live in suburbs together. They live in the city together. They hang out together. They're all in the same family. We're the only idiots that fight because we want our voice to only be on one side. Like, does that even make any sense? And when the side loses, you lose everything. They, on the other hand, have a voice no matter what, because somebody that looks like them is always in control.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point.
Well, it's just a skewed system.
Of course it is.
It's a lot of judgment.
But answer my question though. Should we let people go? Should we let people go? Like, let's just forget about bail altogether. And if your neighbor commits a homicide and kills people, if you kill people and they next to you and you just let them come back and live right next to you, they live upstairs from you. Let them come in your house.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point. This is the best radio show in the state of Wisconsin. Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth and The Truth app.
Now, he's the mayor of the city of Milwaukee. He's a young man. Give him a chance. I only complain about things that I care about. What I want you to do is pretend like I'm in St. Louis. And all I'm asking the mayor and the common council president and the common council, show me.
Now, live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in the heart of downtown Milwaukee, here is Dr. Ken Harris.
Wow. You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. So today we have Versity coming in the 5 o'clock hour. So I'm excited about that. And then tomorrow we have Nurses Affecting Change. When was it? Next week? That's next Tuesday. We have Nurses Affecting Change. And then we have tomorrow, we got the round table. I think the only day this week I'm not doing it. Next week, I'm not doing anything. It's Monday. So that'll be interesting. However, Nurses Affecting Change will be in. It'll be the last day of the month. And we have some guests coming in, along with our very own Cherie Harris, to talk about Breast Cancer Month. It's October. And talk about those types of things that need to be done. And we will be talking to Versity. So if you want to know anything about sickle cell and some of the things going on in the Black community with Versity, some of the research, some of the funding, things like that, make sure you are here today at 5:15. Right after the top 5 at 5, we'll be hopping in and talking to Prithu Sun, PhD, who's a senior investigator at the Versity Blood Research Institute. So it'll be a great show. It'll be very informative, and some things you need to think about in relation to if you are African American, or in some cases Middle Eastern descent, Northern Africa, Lebanese, stuff like that. You need to be sure and know about sickle cell, because sickle cell is not a Black people's disease. It really depends on where you're from in the world. And so in America, we've assigned it to Black, but it is much, much broader than just those of African descent. So make sure you check it out. Be here at 5:15 today. I had a conversation with somebody today who was discussing the fact that we have forgotten how to deal with things. We have forgotten. We've made life so easy. We get upset at so many things that we just want to shut everybody up so that nobody can hurt anybody's feelings or make somebody feel uncomfortable or anything like that, right? I keep seeing it on both sides where people that support Israel are screaming, you can't say anything against Israel. But to them, you saying anything about Palestinians means you're anti-Israel and you're anti-Semitic, which I believe is completely and totally incorrect. I understand the issue with Hamas because Hamas is a terrorist group. There's beef between the Israelis and the Palestinians. I'm not going to stand on the radio and take a side. I get it, but I don't know if you can call someone anti-Semitic because they disagree with you in terms of what you support. I understand you can call them that if they disagree in a specific way. Absolutely, I get it. But we have to come to grips with the fact that sometimes there's pressure in our lives. We have to, going back to the Israel, Palestine, Hamas, Hezbollah, ISIS, all that, we need to recognize that these are human beings that are fighting. And that if you say that, people get upset, they get mad, they get screaming, and you have to support this the way we say you should support it. Aren't you doing to people what you said you didn't want done to you? All these conservatives who scream and holler about loving America, you have to support Israel no matter what, to the point that if you say, yeah, but we still need to do some humanitarian things because, there's 7,000 dead in Gaza and we still need to make sure children, there's food. Oh, you can't do that. You got to this and this. And I get it. But why don't you apply that to everything? When Black people complain about things like that, I don't see the screaming and the hollering. When Black people are subject to all the screaming and hollering and words and the vitriol, I don't see anybody standing up to our defense. We're always told to suck it up, be tougher. Well, this is to the people that are on both sides of the argument, Palestinian, Israeli, Jewish, Muslim. Bottom line, you need to realize that pressure is a privilege. Like, pressure is actually a privilege. It does three things that I always talk about. It gives you, first of all, it gives you pressure, right? It gives you the push. It means you're not where you are. You're getting pressed. And when you're pressed in one place, that means you have to move in others. Number two, it creates pushback. When you get pressure, something's going to push back. You, your words, your actions, but something needs to push back. And then finally, there's persistence. Pressure is a privilege because it gives you and makes you persistent and gives you persistence. It will make you be resilient. And that's the one thing most people avoid. But the one thing I think people miss, why pressure would be a privilege. Why pushing me? Why poking me? Why making me tolerate all these things that I don't want to tolerate? All these things that I'm trying to avoid, all these things that might cause hurt, but I don't hang around long enough because I've never been hurt. And so when I am hurt, I fall apart. One of the things to remember is that pressure is a privilege. But what that really means is that someone has expectations of you.
And that is Dr. Ken's Truth on the new 1017 The Truth.
Kyle Al Wallace, oh my gosh, can you believe that the Milwaukee Bucks season starts tonight? And we know the whole city is hyped for the official debut of Giannis and Dame on the court together.
And they can watch the debut